My name is Jimmy Purdy, shop owner, master tech, transmission builder, and the host of the Gearbox Podcast. Here I talk with new and seasoned shop owners, as well as industry professionals about day-to-day operations within their own shops and all the failures and successes that come along the way. From what grinds your gears to having to shift gears in the automotive industry, this is the Gearbox Podcast. All right, we got to start with who you are.
Who I am? I am Michael Wright.
All right.
Yeah.
Michael Wright.
I'm Michael Wright.
So today we're going to do a little bit about a little behind the scenes, right? So we're going to talk about how you get the parts you need in the shop as a tech or as an owner to go on the car, and we'll go on from there. We'll see where this takes us.
Okay.
We're going to go down the journey right now. Talk about a rabbit hole, huh?
Yeah.
So we won't do any name drops, but you know, if you had to go, I mean, you could kind of figure it out, right?
You probably could. Yeah. I think so.
We'll leave it at that.
Just say the uniform is meant for St. Patrick's Day.
We'll leave it at that. That's good. That's another good one, too. We'll never know who it is. We'll never know. We'll just say the warranty is 3 year and 36,000 mile nationwide. But that's pretty standard for, it seems to be the new standard coming out. Now, you do a lot of conferences when it comes out to stay on top of the parts game, right?
We do.
So that's pretty interesting because we don't know anything about that.
Okay.
As a tech, as an owner.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, kind of walk me through starting in the automotive industry and how that, say you're looking to start in the automotive field. Maybe you don't know enough to get into a shop. Maybe this would be a good segue into that. I mean, how did you get involved into where you're at?
I started as a driver about 7.5 years ago. I was working in a kitchen. Minimum wage in California went up to $10 an hour. And I figured if I can get $10 anywhere doing anything, driving sounds good.
Yeah, driving sounds easy.
Yeah, not my own vehicle. I was delivering the correct parts to the correct shops. Nobody had issues with me. And I just kind of promoted up from then. Worked behind the counter for a few years. Learned a lot of automotive knowledge through some of our professional sales guys. We call them installer service specialists, ISS for short, but they're just commercial managers. They're commercial account managers. They're the guys looking up your parts and making sure the parts get out to the correct shop. Learned a lot from those guys. Probably the three that I worked with for the longest had at least 75 years of experience between the three of them. And that's parts knowledge, automotive knowledge, a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, a lot of our paperwork, policies, stuff like that really opened up my eyes to seeing beyond the counter. And that's when I started doing outside sales. As an outside salesman, I go from shop to shop promoting what I can, get you to buy more parts, get you to buy training classes, setting up accounts with our professional shop programs as our nationwide warranties, taking care of stuff like labor claims and just all sorts of things. I sell tools and equipment. You name it, I can do it.
Now, rewinding back a little bit into the delivery driver part, kind of joked a little bit. It seems like anybody can do it. Typically, the retired guys are, ends up being your drivers. Mm-hmm. I mean, anybody runs a shop or been in a shop knows that the delivery drivers show up. They're typically not the younger guys. It's kind of an old guys, kind of retired, and you just want to drive around all day. But there's got to be more to it than just you're going to go pick up the parts and deliver them, right? I mean, there's got to be some sort of a little bit more you got to have between the eyes, in a sense, or between the ears, in a sense. That you have to just pick up parts and deliver them. So
you know what? That's where my engagement started. I wanted to know what was in the box, and I would drop off to a shop and ask, hey, what's this going on? What's this to? What's it for? What's it do?
Yeah.
And a lot of times the shop owner or the technician will, they'll be happy to tell you like, oh, well, it's a belt. It runs the fan and it keeps the engine cool and pumps water through the heating cycle.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. Then, some of it was self-research. My company is real big on training. We have daily training you need to do. And a lot of it is automotive systems, not quite as advanced as what technicians know, but in order to sell parts, you got to know what they do.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, you got to be in the ballpark if you're going to start calling out, oh, this is going to be one thing or another. And I mean, kind of one of the services is checking the code, right, and then being able to recommend certain parts that would possibly fix that problem, right?
Yeah. When our guys behind the counter go out to the parking lot to scan a code, it's only a recommendation based off of what other technicians have said have been solves to the problem.
Right.
It's not a diagnosis. I really wish customers would understand that it is not a diagnosis.
I mean, that is probably the biggest rub for anybody in the industry is when they hear of a certain service being provided, such as that is like, oh, well, guys will come out and set your code and tell you exactly what part to buy to replace. Like, but I don't think that's what it's supposed to be. But it's definitely. I mean, what's your feedback on that when you get that kind of situation going on? I mean, is that something that you're into? Do you like promoting that, or is it? I mean, how do you feel about that?
I try not to do it.
Fair enough.
I really did try not to do it. I would tell a customer like, hey, listen, I'll scan this code. It could be any number of problems. I once had a girl with a Jaguar. She had 13 codes.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
and she nearly broke down in tears.
Yeah.
I said, relax. It's probably just one or two main problems setting off everything else.
Right.
You definitely need to take this to somebody to have it diagnosed.
Yeah.
It's number of issues, and it could be a simple fix. It could be a difficult fix. And she sent it to a shop and came back and told me it was a basic problem, bad wiring on her ECU.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm glad you didn't freak out on me.
Yeah. It's tough to be a parts salesman and then turn away a part sale, but ultimately we're all just trying to do the best thing for the client, right? At the end of the day. And it's just a very difficult position to be put in, especially if you're a counter salesman at a large box store like that. And then you're put in the position of, hey, go check this code and then recommend a part.
Yes.
And then go install the part.
No.
Like where do we draw the line here? Or so they go home and they install it and then they come back and say they didn't fix it. I want my money back.
That is the worst part there, when they come back and say, hey, this didn't fix my issue.
Yeah. I mean, how's that situation been handled?
Then that's where the customer needs to understand, like, hey, this is just a suggested fix to your problem. This isn't a guaranteed fix, and when we do read codes, we use a system called ProDemand.
Right.
A lot of shops use it, and a lot of shops will pull up, it'll be 4 or 5 fixes.
Yeah.
But it still needs to be diagnosed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Assessed and analyzed, and the whole scanner danner needs to be. We can't be a parts changers around here.
That's it. See, we're only scanning a code. We're not doing a draw test, load test. We're not doing any of the internal workings. We're not doing any of that for the vehicle. We're just reading what the computer says it is.
Yeah, and it seems like it started as like it always does. It always starts as like the heart's in the right place, trying to do the right thing here, but obviously there got to be a profit behind it as well, right? I mean, is that something that they've talked about as far as like what is the whole grab behind that? Is it basically just to try to up the part sales, or is it trying to provide a service that's, hey, here's a code. If you can't afford a scanner, we'll scan it for you and you can do your own research.
Yeah.
But then you draw on the line like, well, then why are you giving them recommendations? Right?
So
how far do we keep pushing this line where it's like, okay, now all of a sudden we're doing a disservice to the client because it's like, well, this thing, and then of course the counter guys, there could be some that are ASE certified. There could be some that have 30 years, 40 years running a shop and they're at the counter, right? But there could also be guys that have never had any automotive experience. So, and then you got all the colors of the rainbow in between, literally. So it's definitely a tough thing for a corporate situation to just hand that down here. All you stores, scan codes, and then sell a part.
Well, little known secret, we only started scanning codes because our competitor did. Our top competitor was scanning codes as well.
Yeah, you gotta.
Well, monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah,
that's why in most bigger cities you always see one of my stores across the street from a competitor store or close proximity.
Yeah, down the block, around the corner.
Oh yeah,
all that. You gotta stay close. Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to client education.
It
is.
That's
what we try real hard here at the shop, is just educate the clients as much as we can. Get on, whether it's on a podcast or whatever you're doing, just trying to get the word out there. Like, you need to just stop for a second and think what you're doing. You might get lucky. And that's the thing, too, about a lot of shops that are just parts changers. And in this situation, you get a code and most of the time, you can actually fix a car that way. If you get an O2 sensor heater code, more than likely it's going to be the O2 sensor that's bad. You sell them all 4 O2 sensors, it's probably going to fix the problem. And in the client's eyes, they just saved thousands of dollars, right? Because they just know they go to a shop and they're going to get, ripped off, right? Everyone thinks they go to the shop and they're going to get ripped off, and it's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy thought process to have. But then it's like, well, who was wrong in that situation? They spent $500 in O2 sensors, 3 of them of which they probably didn't need, but it got the car fixed for $500 versus coming to a shop, paying the assessment fee, paying the diagnostic fee, and then paying for the sensor and then the installation. Probably would have been close to $500. So, what's the right answer here? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, is it $500 in parts that you're selling, or is it you're paying for all these people that work here in the city and you're paying for their wages to do all this work? And that's what I feel the money should go to, not paying for parts that you don't need. You're supporting a big corporate giant, and it's like, do they need the money, or does the local shop techs need the money? So that's for me. But in the client's eyes, $500 is $500.
Yeah.
And if they can get it for $450 versus the $500 going to a shop, it's like, well, I'll just do that. Like, okay, well, hopefully that fixes it. If you have a wiring issue, then it's like, well, then you need the shop. If you haven't been supporting them for the last couple of years, then it's like, well, that was kind of on you.
Yeah. I can get you in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. Typically 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah.
I'm all for sending customers to shops.
Yeah.
Hey, if you think this might be beyond your automotive knowledge, go to a shop.
Yeah.
Our retail customers can go to our retail website and look up shop referrals for the specific job their vehicle needs or they think they might need. And a lot of these shops are ASE certified. They're nationally accredited. They're backed by our nationwide warranties. And I'm all for sending customers to a shop.
Yeah.
And twofold, the shop's making money. Those local guys are making money. The technicians, they're spending that money that they make here locally within our community.
Yeah.
It's all going towards taxes and should be fixing roads and education, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely all for the small guy, you said that the parts go to, a big Faces Corporation. Yeah, we're Faces Corporation, but we started as a family business. It was run by 2 brothers, in the late 50s and 60s. 2 brothers, and those 2 brothers, their sisters, and their children have all been on the board serving as a family company. And on top of that, I'm local. I live here locally. My wages are paid by the parts that those customers buy.
Yeah.
Should they decide to take on the solve theirself to fix the problems themselves, do the install themselves, we're there for support. We're not automotive technicians, but we're there.
Yeah.
We, a lot of our guys do know quite a bit. And there's always YouTube and everybody trying to fix it on their own. But generally, I do try to recommend going to shops.
Yeah, and the way I see it is those aren't, and it's a harsh way to say it, but those aren't my clients. That's if you want to take it on and do it yourself, God bless you.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. Don't come to me helping you bail out water when you're sinking.
Yeah, and I like the DIYs and it's not just the guy that's like trying to cut ties and like thinks everybody ripping them off. It could just be a dad trying to show his son how to fix something. You never really know the situation when it comes to the DIYs, and they also get kind of a bad rap between everybody. With everybody, it's like, oh, you're going to try to fix it yourself. Good luck. It's like, well, no. There's some good people out there that are just trying to show their kid how to do it, or whatever it ends up being. And that's why, I do the radio show and I try to help, the advocacy as well as like promote it. And if I get a call and they're, hey, I think I have the biggest problem because Leanne usually, runs the office, and she hates it when I answer the phone because that's usually how the conversation goes. Like, well, what code is it? Oh, okay. What car is it? Oh, well, I've seen a lot of issues with this. You might want to check this out. And I start just rambling on as if it was here and I'm diagnosing it, in the shop. And, she hates it. but you never know who it is that's trying to do it. And it could be, a retired veteran on a fixed income or, there's good people out there that just don't have the money to pay for the service. And I'm not going to try to pull that out of them. There's enough people around here that we can promote our service to, and they can pay for it. I don't need to go down to your store and sit in the parking lot and start bad mad dogging everyone. What are you doing? You working on this too? But as far as like recommending shops, that's got to be kind of tough situation to be put in as well. To like recommend a certain shop, right? You can't do that.
Not a specific shop. I definitely will tell them go to our retail website and do some research.
Yeah, that's
there.
the best. I mean, you don't want to be put in that situation either. I've had enough. I mean, I know I got friends that own shops in the area, and it's like you recommend them, and then you hear about what they did. It's like, I thought I knew you. What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Why did you do that? You're making me look bad now.
Yeah.
You can't really do that.
It's ultimately going to come down to the customer, what they're comfortable with, and the decisions they make. Because it's their vehicle. They're the ones that have to drive that vehicle every day.
Yeah.
Get their kids to school, get to work themselves, go get groceries, pay their bills. That's their vehicle, their livelihood. Just like myself, I have one vehicle. I'm a one vehicle owner, and that's my get around. I drive from shop to shop. I rely on that vehicle. So it's I can see where people can come in and be real worried about their vehicle.
Oh yeah. Especially when it comes to trying to budget everything and every dollar all the time. Like, oh, I'm just going to save $1. Don't step over $1 to pick up a dime in this place. Get it done right.
When it comes to vehicle maintenance, yes, yeah. I 100% agree. Yeah. Don't try and skimp on any of it. Don't buy the cheapest oil. Don't buy the cheapest filter. Don't go to the cheapest shop.
Right.
Maybe not to go to the most expensive shop, but go to the shop that's got the most certifications.
Yeah.
The shops that's cranking out the most work, they're obviously doing good jobs.
Yeah.
And again, look for that nationwide warranty, that's backed by a wholesale parts dealer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all. I mean, it's all about the warranty at the end of the day. Right? I mean, that's what matters.
Yep.
I mean, that's
my favorite line from Tommy Boy is I can sell you shit in a box.
Yeah. As long as it says guarantee on the side of it.
As long as there's a guarantee on it, you're going to sleep good at night.
Guaranteed piece of shit. But it's guaranteed.
Yep.
It's still not a bad thing. So that's so moving into the driving around, I want to go back to that. Mm-hmm. So that's your job requirement, right? You drive around and you go to shop to shop. Now, a lot of owners aren't super happy to see you pull in, I would imagine. Get a lot of that?
I do from time to time.
Okay.
Maybe it's not a good day for the owner. Bad, yeah. My parts have failed, and here now I'm the face of the company, so that's my fault. Or just they just had their butt chewed by a customer over something that wasn't even anything they had to deal with.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
We all have bad days. We all have good days. And I just take it with a smile, and hey, I'll see you next week. Hey, next week we'll both be in better moods.
It's happened all the way around, right?
What?
At every shop, huh?
I've been chased out of this shop.
Yeah, that's true. Not by me. I didn't.
Not by you. And Leanne, bless her heart. I love Leanne. Yeah. She just said, "Hey, it's not a good time right now."
It's not a good day.
Hey, that's cool. I can learn to read the room. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
And I think that's pretty fair for a lot of other shop owners. I mean, you get to a point where you realize there's a relationship that needs to be had there, and you need to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yep.
And I feel like how do I put this? Not the bigger, but the more efficient you get as a shop, you start delegating your time more appropriately, and you start realizing this is what I need to be doing. I don't need to be out there stressing, spinning a circle in the middle of the shop floor. Mm-hmm. I think there's probably a lot listening right now that may be in that position where they're one, owner operator, maybe with one or two techs, and they're kind of renting service and they're trying to be tech too, and then they get the sales guy coming in, right?
Yep. Yeah, and something I often forget is that I'm not the only rep out there. You've got your other rep coming in. You've got this rep. You've got the tool guy coming.
Yeah.
And then you've got to deal with bonehead drivers sometimes. Not all drivers are fantastic drivers.
Yeah.
Some of them drop parts off at the wrong counter. Some of them will bring them to the wrong shop.
Yeah.
Or just
get lost on the way.
There you go. Just it's a plethora of things. There's other stuff that goes on that I don't see. So maybe it was just the last parts, the last rep that was in here. Hey, this is the third rep today. Can you guys give me a break?
Yeah.
I'm trying to work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how would you sell that situation? You come in and, I mean, what would you say to somebody that's in that situation, maybe listening right now? Like, what is the most important thing to taking the time to listen to these different sales pitches, I guess? Mm-hmm. Elevator pitch, if you call it. Is there something that you would tell them, hey, this is important because, I mean, just to hear like a breakdown. I mean, for us, it's obviously knowing the different parts warranties, and then the pricing and then how it all works. But you can't just call them over the phone and say, hey, look, this is what we do. So in that situation, how is that? Say you come into a new shop, and how does that conversation go for you on a new client?
On a brand new, we call them cold calls on a brand new client.
Yeah.
You know, I just honestly, I just walk in, introduce myself. I no flyers, just business card. Hey, listen, we deliver to your area. We deliver free. I'm an ag shop. It's like, well, we do ag. We do batteries, alternators. I mean, or, I don't do automotive. I marine. Like, hey, we sell starters and stuff too. Hey, we want to be a dominant supplier in anything we do.
Yeah.
And, customer, just leave it for the customer. Hey, I'm Michael, I work with so-and-so. I leave a what we call a phone sticker for the parts guy on the counter working at the store. Hey, he's got great knowledge. He's been in the company for 25 years. He's, worked on his own vehicles. He's, got backed up. We've got drivers here. And leave it in the customer's hands.
Yeah.
If I don't hear from the guy in a week or two, pop in again, leave a flyer. It's like, hey, I just wanted to follow up and see if there was anything you needed. We've got great parts, great service, and our warranties are fantastic. We're covered we're covered nationwide. We've got over 6,000 stores. Our inventory is on par with any other parts house you deal with.
And then another interesting thing, and this will probably be another tattletale, but the trucks that are driving around.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thought process behind that?
We don't need customers to know who we are. Our parts and service stand for who we are. That's one of the reasons why we are under a different umbrella than our mother company. That's about to change just to be more uniform so that everybody in the store looks
the same.
Yep. But the thought behind that being that, hey, your customer is, as my driver walks in, drops off parts, your customer doesn't need to know where you're getting them from.
Yeah.
They just need to know that you're backed by that nationwide warranty. We're a nationwide wholesaler. We sell great parts at a great price. Tested, we get parts from factories all over the world that are tested and
stores everywhere. You were just telling me the other day, what was it? Was it 5,000?
Opened 6,000 stores last Wednesday. We opened our 6,000 store in Fort Glen, Oklahoma.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can't get away from it. Oh.
Well, we're actually opening a DC in Mexico. We're opening a DC in Puerto Rico. I believe 4 stores in Puerto Rico. We have several stores in Mexico right now under our partnership company, and we're looking to go soon international. We hope to be in Canada and elsewhere as well.
Just keep pushing them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works out for everybody. I mean, it's nice as that grows, the inventory grows, because one of the biggest problems is trying to stock inventory as a shop owner. As a shop, you don't have room. You can't.
No.
I mean, I'm a transmission specialist, so it's like if I try to stock my general auto side and I try to stock my transmission rebuilding side, I mean, the shop would be full and I wouldn't have any lifts in here.
Yeah.
Just be like I'm a warehouse. Like, why is this impossible? So being able to have, access to parts quickly like that is the most important thing. I mean, you can get it. I mean, as far as parts delivery and having that stuff taken care of, it's so much easier and more efficient that way. And then, of course, not having to wait a day or 2 days or 3 days for parts to come in. That's another big issue too. I think the performance side probably still needs a little bit of help, but I don't know if you're ever going to get into the performance side of parts. I know we talked about that before, but yeah,
that's something that we dabble in a bit, but not a whole lot.
Yeah,
that stuff like that.
Tough profit margin on it.
It is. Stuff like that. People are going to like Jegs and Summit, and stuff like that, and they're getting it, dirt cheap, and it's direct to your door the next day. Stuff like that. Yeah,
it's not even worth trying.
Yeah.
Same with transmission parts. That's the biggest issue I have is trying to find a good transmission part supplier. It's crazy right now. It's insane. I've brought this up multiple times. It's like trying to find internal automatic transmission parts. Like Transtar is just not has been off the planet lately. I can't get any parts from them. And then you find the part on Amazon and you order it off of Amazon. You're like, wow, that's like $30 cheaper. And it was just today I had some parts come in, and an order from Amazon came in and came out of a TransStar box. And I looked up and it was like the same exact part number and in their box, but just $30 cheaper because I went through Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it. I mean, I've Bosch, for instance.
Yeah.
A Bosch O2 sensor, this guy comes up and says, hey, listen, I can get it from Amazon. It'll be here 2 days from now. I said, but I have it, and he's like, well, I don't want to pay that much for it. And I price matched it for the retail customer, and I caught hell from it for doing it. But it was the right thing to do. The customer needed it, and it was a legitimate price.
Yeah. That's got to be tough. I mean, how do you compete with something like Amazon?
Well, at the time we were, this was when I lived in the Central Valley, and Amazon has a huge, huge warehouse. I believe it was at the time the largest warehouse on the West Coast, and this is something that he said, he could have had it in his door the next day.
Yeah.
It is one of their hugest distribution centers, on the West Coast. I don't know if it still is, but it's massive. I mean, I drove by it several times and it's just like, oh my God, what the Jesus.
Yeah.
Amazon now is like a global power.
Yeah. I mean, the prices is like you look up anything on there and it's in there. Just get the part number and look it up and it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah. But with Amazon, who's going to warranty it?
Yeah. I mean, just like Rock Auto and all the other ones is like, yeah, that's great and all, but if it's me, okay, maybe, but still, I mean, the warranty I get, I'm probably just going to get it from you guys because if something happens, I can just put my own warranty and I can pay myself to do the job again because it's parts and labor warranty.
Yep.
It's not just a part warranty. So that's depends on how much I'm gonna save, I guess.
Yeah.
Like if I'm a couple $100 for like a half-hour job, I'm probably gonna buy that part because I'm not too worried about spending a half an hour to replace it again. But if it's an in-depth part, I don't know. I'm definitely having that conversation, and that's with myself. Doing the work myself, and so it's always fun. And then you always got the price shoppers that come in and they do the same thing, and it's just a tough conversation because you got to understand, like, hey, look, I'm selling you a service with this part. Mm-hmm. The part's just the cherry on top, you're not just coming here buying this part from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then paying my guy 2 hours to put on. No, you're paying for a whole service here. This is like a whole thing.
Yep. I believe one of the worst things for this industry has been the smartphone.
Yeah.
You get a customer walk into your shop and ask for a replacement on a battery. Could be a super simple battery on a 95 Chevrolet, Silverado. Simple battery, not super expensive, not super cheap, easy job. But what the customer doesn't know is that, he can get it for $50 cheaper from my store. But he doesn't know that you're backing it with roadside assistance, free roadside assistance, just like his insurance company would. AAA. It's roadside assistance. It's nationwide warranty. He's covered for the 2 years or the 3 years the battery is warranted for. That's where that extra comes in,
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you got to keep a shop running.
Yeah.
You can't keep a shop and maintain technicians out on your floor, keep business flowing off of charity.
Yeah.
You just can't.
And that's the hard thing too with parts is always kind of driven me kind of crazy is they can call the store and then get the price, and their price is what the price we pay. Mm-hmm. So we really have to promote that we're, like you said, giving them a service. Like, hey, there's a lot more going on, and I kind of like that instead of, I mean, of course, I'd always like less money, right? Like everybody would like to have like a commercial discount, an actual commercial discount, like a deep discount. Okay, the battery is $120 for the consumer, or the walk in, and it's $80 for the shop. Because everyone thinks that I get parts cheap too. I get friends that ask me, family, that, oh, what's your price on it? It's like, my price is your price. Like it's the same. But I'm gonna sell you a service on top, and I appreciate that because I think that works better logistically. For the company both ways, because I can sell the part and then I can sell my service on top of it.
Yep.
And I don't have to personally back that warranty, right? So I can still charge or pay my techs for their time, for their labor, but then I can also, if it fails, pay them again, not out of my pocket.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense why the part's marked up.
Yeah. Or as they're traveling as well. The way your warranty works, as long as they're outside of a 25-mile radius from this shop, they can be towed to another shop and have the service done at the original price of the invoicing for free.
You know, and I've asked too on it. It's like you said the roadside assistance, flat tire, battery. Now, how does that exactly work? Is that any repair, or is it just if you had a battery replaced, you get free jump start? That's one thing I haven't really looked too much into, but I was always kind of curious about it, and I kind of sell it like that a little bit, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. You'll have to call the 1-800 number just to verify, but most of the time you should be covered for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So the way our nationwide warranty program works for our partnership shops, our professional shops, we call it the Certified Auto Repair Program. The way that works is as long as there's any service of $25 or more done to that vehicle, they're covered by a roadside assistance. And that's 24 months free roadside assistance, up to 2 claims a year. They would need to pay ahead and reimburse at the back end. As far as installation of parts, those parts are covered for your 3 years, the 3636.
So the owner of the vehicle gets 2 claims a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for 2 years. Yep. So you get four basically bailouts for any reason.
Yep. And that policy is the same for any of our general repair shops that are replacing batteries that aren't under our partnership. They're just replacing our batteries with 2 years or better.
I see.
Yeah, that's extended out to any shop that replaces one of our batteries.
Oh, okay. Other than that, if it goes to the shop, 25 or more, covered 2 years. That isn't extended to 3 years. The extra year is just for the part replacement only. So you get 2 years roadside assistance with that, and then you get the third year.
The third year for the part only.
Just the part only. You don't get any more bailouts.
Yep.
You left your key on, or you ran over too many nails already, or whatever you did.
Mm-hmm.
Quit doing that.
Typically, a customer is going to come in and have another service done within the 3 years anyhow.
I mean, yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely don't want to not see a client for 2 years.
Like, hey, remember I recommended shocks 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Well, this is 3 years later.
Yeah, what's going on here? I've seen transmissions last that long.
Yeah, oil changes, to any smog shops that do, charge for smogs.
Yeah.
That customer that comes in just for a smog, as long as that shop is a certified auto repair, they're covered for the 24 months of roadside assistance.
Wow. And that's with no parts being replaced.
No parts replaced. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day, I guess.
Yeah.
See that? That's a good thing I asked. You got to ask questions, you know? Yeah. You never know. Speaking of questions, so let's go back into the beginning of this thing. So getting into the automotive field. Mm-hmm. It's it's all interesting what path you can take to be involved, right?
Yes.
And obviously you took the parts side. Have you had any experience in the service side as far as repairs other than your basic training?
Just working on the vehicles I've owned, basic repairs.
But no, like in air quotes, professional.
No professional
technical
auto.
Okay.
Nothing like that. No.
But you moved from being a delivery driver all the way up to what your position now?
As an outside sales rep. We call them territory sales managers.
Okay.
And I cover a territory of the entire San Luis Obispo County. And I cover about 145 to 150 shops that I see on a monthly basis. Some of them I see weekly, some I see biweekly. And again, I'm just out there promoting, our parts and service, training, tools and equipment,
right?
Anything that the shop needs, building that partnership relationship,
right?
Getting the customer to buy into, why we're the best parts provider out there.
Yeah, sell the parts. Mm-hmm. But that's I don't know if I call it easy. A little more simple than some of the other paths you can take to be in the industry, right? So it's definitely a good path to take if you're looking to maybe not get dirty in the industry. But was there a certain aspect or certain thing that drew you into that, or is it just you just kind of took the path and you fell there, or what's the story behind it?
At first, I will agree with you. I do like the fact that I don't have to get dirty.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Now, if I do, I will. But typically, I it's not in my job description.
You got your shiny shoes on all the time, and yeah, okay.
What was the question again? As far as
what drew you into that position? So did you like start as a driver, and you're just like, hey, where's this going to go? Or did you latch onto that, and you're like, I want to get to the top of this chain?
Well, starting as a driver, again, just looking at what's in the box, learning what parts are. And when I started as a driver, I knew what a spark plug was. I knew what a alternator and a starter was, but I had no idea what a coil or any of that advanced stuff was, blower motor, any of that. I had no idea what any of that was. So that really drove my hunger for knowledge, is looking for that. Also, I started looking at the professional flyers that we were sending out to our shops. Well, what is this? We're giving away a promo. What is this promo? What is this? What's this training class? Well, what is all this that we're sending out? We had a guy that was doing it once a week in our store, and he was promoted to another store. And I asked the store manager at the time, like, hey, who's going to go out and see his customers? And the store manager had no idea. I said, well, can I do it? And my story is not the typical story. I mean, but I was like a fish to water when it came to sales, and if anybody knows me personally, I'm not a talker.
Yeah, it's been pretty hard. It's been pretty hard so far.
I'm not.
I'm really pulling out of you right now.
But when it comes to sales, when it comes to sales and promoting the business and the stuff that we talk about, it comes naturally. My dad was a store manager for almost 21 years.
At the Cragans.
Yeah, he started at the old school Cragan. Yeah. And in fact, it was his passing that opened up my eyes and like, hey, life's too short. I'm not happy in a kitchen. I could be doing something else. And I went to one of his friends who was a store manager at the time. He says, yeah, I'll hire you. You can drive, right? I'm like, yeah, I got a good license. And
I drove here.
Yeah. I made it here. And then, yeah, that's where that all started, looking at the parts on the boxes, looking at the sales flyers, asking the shop, the technician, hey, what's that do? What's it for? And, okay, well, that's cool. Learning from the installer specialists, the guys behind the counter working the pro counter, learning a lot from them. But if anybody's looking to get in, whether they want to be a technician or even a parts guy, you got to start somewhere. And I would say, if you have the ambition, starting as a parts driver, a delivery driver is a great place.
Yeah.
You're in an air-conditioned vehicle.
It's not bad. Brand new yours. Air-conditioned vehiol.
It's not yours. You can drive it like you stole it. I wouldn't recommend it because we like to try and keep them long as we can.
They got GPS on them,
but the advancements in the driving. Yeah, we've got GPS scanners. We're not always watching you, but those scanners help us find out where hey, Jimmy calls up, says, where's my parts? We can look at the GPS scanner and say, hey, he's right down the block. He's, he's turning on at the red light now.
I don't know. He's been parked in the corner of what is right there? Is that a Hooters restaurant? I think there's a Hooters right. What is that guy doing?
There are no Hooters in North County, Jimmy.
I know. I love their wings. They got the best wings. I'm not going to lie. It's like they just have really good food.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good starting point. I mean, you can learn a lot, right? I mean, just by delivering parts, like getting into shops. And then, not to say that, get a delivery driver job as a leapfrog, but you never know who you're going to meet, what shop you walk into, who they're looking for.
Yep.
Maybe that's you're in to get into a shop. Maybe you've been interviewing at different shops and you're not having any luck. I mean, I don't know how that would happen right now in this day and age, but it gets your foot in the door to a lot of, and I feel like maybe 15 years ago, that was like a really good in, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time you're not going to get to see the owner because he's busy. He doesn't want to deal with a kid coming in wanting to get a job or, and he's pulling his hair out every day, just trying to make ends meet. Like, I'm not going to hire anybody. But if you see someone come in day after day after day, you build a relationship, you can't help it. You see him every day and he's bringing you something you need.
Hey, this guy's employed.
I kind of like this kid a little bit.
He's employed and he works every day. Okay.
You keep bringing me stuff that I need. That's awesome. So not to say that you'd be poaching, employees from you guys, but, if you're looking to get into the field and you can put a year or 2 years in as a delivery driver, you got to figure out where to go from there.
Yeah.
Like I said in the beginning, it's like a retired man's game. And if you're young and you're a delivery driver, I mean, you're not planning on being a delivery driver for the rest of your life. I feel like that's like an unspoken contract, right? Like, okay, I understand you're probably going to do this for a year or so, and then you're either going to move up or you're going to move out. You're probably not planning on keeping delivery drivers more than maybe a decade at the most.
That's typically how it happens, yes.
Right. It's got to be the hardest thing to keep cycling, but it's a fairly simple job.
Mm-hmm.
Get in, drive, take this part over here. Cool. I can do that.
The great thing about this industry is there's always room for advancement.
Yeah.
Period. Whether you want to stay a driver or not, there's always that room for advancement because, like you said, that next driver is up. My counter guys, not been poached, but hey, they have other aspirations. Hey, I've only been doing this part-time because I do want to be a technician, or I do want to be a shop owner. I do want to be a service writer.
Yeah.
Or, I'm going back to college. There's always that room for advancement. And that's what's great about the automotive industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than the high turnover, but I mean, I'm looking for golden handcuffs on my tech. So it's like, I don't want them going anywhere. But, I mean, it's the hardest thing in the world to find a tech that'll show up, and then be knowledgeable and want to do good work for his own sake, and then realize that he's making other people money with his hard work. I think that's the big realization that techs have is as they start, getting better and better, they start realizing like, wow, that was a $2,500 ticket and I got paid $400 to do it. And their eyes get big and they think they can, I'm going to take all that. And it's like, oh man, that's such a bad way to view that situation. It's like you start chasing the dollar, and that's when you go, I think, in the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. But I mean, obviously in your kind of situation, that was probably the most motivation, right? As you start advancing, you get paid more. Obviously, I would think you get paid more now than as a driver.
I do. Yes, I do.
I would hope so.
I wouldn't do this for driver wages, no.
Yeah. So obviously the advancement also comes with benefits and a promotion, but you're not really looking at that as like, oh wow, I'm selling this account, $10,000 account, and I'm taking home 10% of that or 20%, whatever the numbers end up being. But you got to keep that mentality and stay humble, right? Like,
oh yes,
you're not going to go start opening. You're not going to go open a parts store.
No,
you're like, oh, I just sold all these accounts. I got, what'd you say, 400 stores or that are in the North County service?
145.
145. I got a 4 in there. I don't know why the 400, but 140. So you got 145 stores. Like, I sold all these guys, and they're all $8,000, $10,000 accounts. It's like, oh, I'll just open my own parts store and I'll start selling them my parts, right? It's like, why would you do that? And I just take that situation, and it's like, that's the exact same thing that some techs think as well. It's like, oh, I'm doing these jobs and they're billing for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and it's like, I could do this on my own. It's like, I don't know how that seems so much simpler than like what I had just explained about a parts store. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. It's like there's so much that goes behind the scenes that no one realizes when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I wish these guys that think like that would actually take the time to do the research, or maybe ask their boss or another shop owner, hey, what does it take to run a shop? Well, what it takes to run a shop is I pay for your insurance. I pay for the insurance on this building. I pay for the lights. I pay for the lease. Pay for the licensing, the ASE certifications. I pay I pay for the EPA certs, and I pay the oil guy to come pick this up. I pay the service counter. I pay my parts. I pay, like, hey, at the bottom dollar, I'm only bringing home 15% of that 2,500.
Hopefully about 12, but
we're just generally
20 is like the number, but I don't know if anybody actually does a 20 net. Like, that's crazy, but maybe one day we'll see.
It's like, well,
just keep trying.
Yeah, when you think about it, 15% is about that 400 he made.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's about where it lands. And it's, yeah. I mean, the problem is there's not a lot of information out there. So it's like, you kind of just got to do it. And I've said that before. It's like, you get in and you just got to do it. Like, if that's what you want to do, you got to do it. But I think doing it for the money is the wrong reason to do it.
No, definitely not. The guys that are in this business fixing cars are doing it because they like it. Doing it because they want to keep families safe and on the road, want to get a mother to her children at school, get a mom to work so that she can provide for the family. They want to make sure the cops are staying on the road. They want to make sure that the judge, the people working in the service industry, they want to make sure that they're still able to get to work.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be doing this if it were just about the dollar, because you could make a lot more money doing a lot less
work. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I could probably just go sell parts and make a lot more money.
I wouldn't say that.
That sounds like the easy way out, But, if maybe that is. Maybe you are burnt out being a shop owner and you don't want to get out of the industry. So there's a pivot, You have plenty of retired shop owners that have come to the store that are working for you now. Mm-hmm. Works out. You don't have to be retired and do nothing, but you be a delivery driver or counter sales. I mean, so a lot of people would probably appreciate somebody with a little bit of knowledge in the automotive field sitting at the counter selling them parts.
Yeah.
Especially if they have the enough knowledge to know, hey, this part is cataloged to fit that car, but I know from experience you need this one. Like, oh, I'm coming back here for the rest of my life now. Like, you're the man, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that old school part sales is gone away.
It
because of technology, because of
yes.
the amount of not having to know what you're doing anymore. These guys going to the counter and they just know they can just type in the VIN or the license plate. It'll populate a part. This is the part number. That part number matches that part number. Here's your part.
Yep.
Right? Not like it used to be where you'd walk in, you could have a conversation, and it was, what you know, it's a V8, like they would just know what it is, what you're looking for. You know, part numbers memorized.
Yep.
Like, you don't have that anymore.
You don't.
You know, and that was like only not even 10 years ago. You could go in and someone say, oh, you need this U-joint, you know? Like 231C, that's it for this. Like, holy, how do you know that? That's impressive, man.
Yeah.
You know, they could just look at certain parts and it was like, oh, you're definitely a part specialist. You know, you look at something, you can ID it and actually tell you exactly what part number it is. I feel like that's a dying breed.
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite thing to do on the counter was to open a paper catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, because you said you hit the nail right on the head that, you know, you just type in the VIN and it's right there on the computer and the computer says it's right. That's what you need. Yeah. It's not always the case. You know, sometimes you do have to break down and open up that paper catalog. And as I said, my favorite thing to do was open up a catalog. You know, you get these old timers that are like, whoa. You know, they stand back and watch you thumb through a catalog to find their parts and all amazed because you found it and it was the correct part. And like, well, you know, say, sir, well, not everything's on the computer. And I love teaching the other guys at the counter, you know, if you can't find it, measure it. Yeah. Measure it, you know, you keep a measuring tape in your pocket.
Yeah. There it is, huh?
I literally have measuring tape in my pocket.
A dial indicator, micrometer. There it is.
No, just a simple pocket measuring tape.
Yeah.
You know, you got to measure 6 feet of hose. Well, hey, here's 3. You know, hey, is that 3/8 or is that a 1/4 inch? It's you know, it's all easy, simple stuff.
Yeah. No one does it anymore.
That nobody doesn't. Yes, exactly. That nobody does.
Like you said, the phone is the downfall of the whole thing.
Yep.
You know, all the way around. Like, I'll just look it up. I was looking up and give a part number. Like, that's not always going to work that way. It never, but it just never seems to fail. Like, as soon as you're counting on it and you just get comfortable, boom, wrong part. Or someone grabbed it and it was supposed to be an A, not a B. Or whatever. One number off.
Those are the worst.
Yeah. One number off and it's a completely different part. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. What happened there, you know? And then also you open the box and it's just box wrong.
It happens.
It happens, you know?
It happens, yeah. Humans aren't perfect.
Yeah. Or you put another big gripe too is put a new part on and it's bad out of the box. So you start looking at other situations and it's like, there's just no way to get around that. There's just so much being mass produced right now to like say that every brand new part is going to work on your vehicle or fix the problem. It's another important part of like taking the time to assess the situation and to make sure that it's a proper assessment that part needs to be replaced, because if it doesn't work, you already know you checked everything else. I need another part. You don't spend 3 hours looking at everything else, you know, pulling the harness apart, replacing the module, you know, ordering more parts. You know, and it's still the same issue. It's like, oh, it was the original part. I just got a bad part out of the box.
Yeah.
You can't get away from that. There's no way you can fix that situation because there's just so much of everything, you know, and I'm sure you deal with that a lot.
Oh yeah. It's a common occurrence.
Yeah. You can't get away from it, you know, and you got to make sure that part you're replacing is the part you need. I mean, that's the bottom line. If it needs an O2 sensor and you put one in and it still says it needs an O2 sensor, well, now you're really like up a creek without a paddle because you didn't do any testing, you know? Like, how do you verify that? If you didn't do it, then...
Hey, the code told me that's what it was.
And it didn't fix it. So, you know, and maybe you guys probably deal with that too at the shop, like the same situation. Hey, they didn't fix the problem. Like, so do you warranty and give them another one? You know? Or it's like, you need to go to a shop because I can't just keep giving you parts, you know? Maybe warranty it the first time. I don't know. Like, it's a tough situation to be put in.
Well, funny story with the code reading. My brother owned a 2002 Buick LeSabre, and he had a lien code on his vehicle.
That's a fun one.
Well, he went to our competitor to have the code read. I don't know why. He went to our competitor for the parts. I don't know why. He went to our competitor.
I don't know why.
He went back to the competitor because the O2 sensor didn't fix it.
Yeah.
He threw a O2 sensor. He threw all O2 sensors at it. Mass airflow sensor. I think a throttle body assembly too.
Typically, yeah. That's usually what I hear.
All to find out that it was vacuum leaks in his hoses.
Yeah.
I said, how'd you find that out? Oh, YouTube told me to blow cigar smoke in it.
Yeah.
And he said,
smoke the intake.
yeah, he said, yeah, and it just came out everywhere. I'm like, vacuum leaks, huh? So why did you go to that other parts store? Oh, the girls are cute. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's probably a Hooters, huh?
Yeah.
They don't fix cars there.
No. Yeah. And then he's like, well, what did you learn? He's like, well, I guess I should probably come to you. And I didn't know everything at the time, but I knew people who knew a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And at that time I was out visiting shops. I could have said, hey, my brother's got a code, what do you think? Like, well, they probably could have told me smoke test it.
Yeah. Give you a little bit more direction.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
mean, step one with the lean code for sure. I mean, you could have just had one vacuum hose off. It's a lot cheaper than 402 sensors, a mass airflow, and a throttle actuator.
Yeah, I think that total cost him about $600.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And the hoses that he replaced only cost about $40.
Yeah, and the real problem with that is that they spend that kind of money, or even if they go to another shop, one of my competitor shops. I don't like to say the competitors because I am the competition, but. But anyway, they go to another shop and they go to a parts swapper shop and they shotgun a bunch of parts there, right? So that bill went from 600 to probably close to 1,000. Say, let's just round it to 1,000, and it doesn't fix the problem. And now they're coming to me, or somebody else is actually going to assess the situation, and they're like, "Hey, the intake manifold is leaking, and it's going to be $300 to replace it," and they just can't do it because they just spent $1,000 on nothing. Yeah. Well, I already spent $1,000. I can't spend another $300. It's like, how's that my problem? Yep. And it's like, yeah, it's not my problem. But you can't say that. You got to be nice. So like, it just puts everyone in a difficult situation because they've spent a fair amount of money. That's not a little bit of money. I mean, they spend a good amount of money. And what do they go back and try to get their money back, or how do they, I mean, it's like they're just ready to cut ties and move forward. And I can't do it for free. But that's the problem with the part swapping. It's like, that situation, it's like, man, you could have saved yourself so much time and money. We could have built a really good relationship. Yep. We could have had a really nice time here, but now I'm explaining to you why you don't do what you do. So I just hope they take it as a life lesson. And the next time around, they're like, and do I discount it? I mean, probably, just so I can really lock in and see that relationship moving forward. Like, don't go there anymore. Don't do that again. I'll take care of you, Yeah. And so it is a good situation to open the door for me, but it's just tough. I hate that part swapping is it's crazy. It drives me up the wall, and not to say that I wouldn't help, but I get that a lot. People come, hey, so I replaced this, and this for this code. What else do you think it could be? Like, oh my God. I just had a call the other day from a friend of mine doing the same thing. Yeah. And I think it was for a lean code. It was something like that, or a misfire. I don't know what it was, but it's like, what are you doing, man? Why did you replace all those things? Yeah. Call me first.
Yep.
Call me first.
Yeah. Codes are tricky. That's why technicians charge for a diagnostic fee.
Right.
And most good shops will waive that fee if you decide to go with that shop to do the repair. Yeah. Because they're making money on the repair.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just the accessibility of parts and information, like you said, it just makes it so easy for a consumer or a client to go out there and look up real quick. Oh, and they got that part in stock. I'll just go buy it and throw it on there and see what happens. Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Yeah. The smartphone, you price shop, you can go to YouTube and you see how easy the job is. Scott the parts guy, Scott the car guy, these car guys on YouTube.
I'm all about Scanner Danner.
Yeah, these car guys on TV, I owned a shop for 20 something years. I was like, yeah, that was 40 years ago.
Yeah,
you were only working on fuel injection and carburetor and
TBI.
Yeah, it's like now nowadays
it's a little different. Well, not only just a little different, but you get rusty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and. Yeah, I mean, all the systems change. You can take an O2 sensor, something simple as an O2 sensor, and just in the past decade, how much it has advanced. I mean, you got air-fuel ratio sensors, 5 wires, 6 wires, like same with mass airflow sensors, vane air. I mean, you can just go on and on and on about how different just the fuel control of an engine is. And then you can get into like transmissions, and it's like, yeah, you want to open another book? Like, let's have a conversation. It's like that's crazy too. And the people shotgunning transmissions is like another gripe I have, because that does fix the problem. If you had a transmission solenoid code, and it's like someone is like the dealership, you need a transmission. Yeah, that's going to fix the problem, but it's because they're too lazy to take the time to actually, look any deeper. Maybe it just needs a solenoid. Maybe it needs a valve body. I mean, maybe it just needs a torque converter. It's like there's so many other things that it could be.
Try flushing it first.
I mean, yeah, and I mean the converter could be bad, and yeah, that the transmission needs to be replaced at that time. But like, you're going to shotgun a whole transmission at it. I was just looking at a post yesterday about a guy that did that. He had lost third and fourth gear in a Chevy truck, right?
Stay off the freeway.
Yeah, so he 1 and 2, whatever. He's driving around for weeks. Said I can't get on the freeway. I got to take the back roads to work. So I'm going to try to fix this myself. So he buys a transmission, puts it in, same problem.
Okay. Yeah.
So he puts a whole new transmission in, or not new but used, and he's got the same problem. Well, it ends up being that the speed sensor on the transfer case was bad. And that's the output speed sensor that allows the 3/4 shift solenoid to activate. And so anyway, that ended up being just a speed sensor on the transfer case. It's like, holy moly, like, to go through all that because you want to tackle it yourself, just go buy a part and put it in. It's like, I don't know. That's next level right there. That's a lot of heartache.
that's dedication and following the wrong steps.
That's quite a learning experience. Yeah. What did you learn?
Don't have my code scanned.
Yeah. Don't buy parts because the code says to. That's for sure. That's definitely not what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, cool. This has been fun.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of information out there, huh?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot.
Hopefully, people looking to get in, they can see a different path.
Yeah.
A little bit of insight behind the parts, the parts and how they get to you. Any other parting words?
The automotive industry is one of those that we don't have people beating down our door to come work for us.
True.
In the shop, in the parts house, and the dealerships. We just don't have that hiring pool that, people want to go, I want to be nurses. I want to be a computer tech. I want to be an influencer. We just don't have that amount of people that just want to be in this business.
Yeah.
It's not a lowbrow business anymore. We're not shade tree mechanics. We're not going to rip you off. These guys are highly trained professionals.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money to run a shop. It takes a lot of knowledge to run a shop. It takes a lot of dedication and passion to run a shop,
and relationships,
and building those relationships with your customers, with your parts provider, with other shops as well. It's not just we're not just this working class blue collar low brow. This is definitely a business and an industry that's still going to be advancing far beyond electric vehicles.
Oh yeah. There's not going to be a shortage of work for us. That's for sure.
No, the tools will be different. The parts will be different. The vehicles might not have wheels.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But there's still going to be a need for technicians to fix this and fix that.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, I got a code red. Can you help me?
Yeah, my car won't fly anymore. It's in drive mode. It's stuck in drive mode. I need to fly. I need to get over it, and I can't do it anymore. Who knows what the next thing, like flight actuators, and oh man, it's. I mean, a lot of people are scared of the EVs and what this industry is going to turn into. But if you're with it and you're into it, it's exciting.
Yeah,
because it opens new doors, it opens new avenues, because you got technicians, just like you said. Everyone thinks you're just going to be wearing overalls, getting greasy. I mean, that's the heavy duty guys. Those are the diesel techs. Those are the ag guys. They're still out there, but yeah, they're wearing overalls. They're crawling underneath tractors and they're getting dirty and greasy and whatnot. And that's not how the automotive industry is. It hasn't been for years. It's very technical, and it's getting more technical.
Oh, yes.
And you talk about not getting dirty. Well, pretty soon here, we're going to be doing the same thing in the shop. When you talk about EVs with no oil, you got the gear oil in the back and whatnot, and brake fluid still and coolant. But it's definitely a lot cleaner and a lot more in your head, a lot more thinking that's involved. You're dealing with high voltage. You got to think about how electric motors work, how electricity works, you know, and there's still going to be parts, obviously, that need to be replaced. Just going to be, I mean, I don't know what they're going to be, but they're going to be something. There's, you know, the Priuses have had, you know, parts being replaced in those electric motors for years now, you know, and guys getting smarter and smarter and smarter, being able to tear these hybrids apart and replace capacitors and replace certain components in the vehicles. I mean, there's always going to be a market for it. It's just constantly evolving. It's like when the drum brakes went to disc brakes. Everyone's scared.
Yep.
Well, I'd rather do disc brakes than drum brakes. That's for sure.
I've heard that.
You don't have any personal experience though, but
I do not know.
Disc brakes are a lot easier than drum brakes. We'll just leave it at that, right? I mean, yeah, some of the other jobs like timing chains on some engines are definitely a little more difficult now, but not for every single thing is going to be harder. So yeah, we'll see how it goes though.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an ever expanding industry.
Yeah.
Period. Cut and dry.
Yeah.
It, you know, and then it doesn't matter if you want to be again behind the counter or under the car, turning wrenches.
Yeah.
Or in the future, laser beams.
There's a
choo choo.
There's a place for you. You're gonna do laser beam windshield. Are you still gonna do free windshield wiper replacement if they're lasers?
That's yet to be seen.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, thanks for coming in. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.